Yo, what's up, guys? This is an update from Thailand. So, first, I have to say that I caught a flu again. Yeah, this happens pretty much every time I come to Thailand. I get a flu, and I believe it has something to do that while we are cramped in the on the airport, and then we sleep in a hotel with air conditioning, and then it's running a little bit too cold, and those blankets in the Thai hotels, they are almost doing nothing. They're useless. They don't insulate. So I think I have to be more careful and maybe use my jacket or something. Just wear some more clothes because it can get pretty cold. Yeah, and you can try to adjust the air conditioning, of course, but then. The funny thing is that usually when we are in Norway, then I'm always hot. Well, yeah, I'm hot. Well, man is not hot, but and wife is always freezing. But we come to Thailand, then it's all the other way. I'm freezing and she's hot. Well, she's always hot, but but anyway, so I went to the doctor yesterday, and they gave me some. I don't know, they had 2 needles in my butt. Yeah, that's where they found the most meat. So that helped a lot with the vaccine, and I also take some medicines every day. So I'm getting better, but I still have to be careful and don't use too much energy. And I will be in Thailand until January 16. So we still have a long way left. Yeah. So I figured I should make some video about stuff here because I started observing how stuff was. And when I came here, like 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was like, yeah, I wasn't Tesla Björn. I was just Björn Elon. I look at Thailand just like a place you spend holiday. But now I look at Thailand like a different perspective. So there are almost no EVs in Thailand, like almost non-existing. Yeah, unfortunately, and I haven't spotted any EVs in Chiang Mai. Maybe I've seen like one EV. Maybe it was like a BMW i3 in Bangkok once or something. That's pretty much it. And also there are almost no charging stations here, no public charging station. There are a few around Bangkok, some Chadamo fast chargers, and also some slow chargers at shopping malls. But that's pretty much it around Bangkok, and also in the place around Bangkok. There are none in Chiang Mai, at least I know of, which is kind of weird because the electricity is everywhere. But let's look at the cars here. Let's break it down to a little bit economy here. But a little disclaimer here: I don't know too much about things here. I don't live here, and also I don't know too much about fossil cars and stuff that run on dinosaur juice. So bear with me if I say something wrong. Please correct me. But I asked Ameri's dad about stuff, so that's where I got some of the info from, and I tried to Google it. But if you look at cars, for instance, this car, the Honda, it runs on 91 octane unleaded fuel, which is pretty common. And in Thailand, it costs only 25 baht per liter, which equals to 0.64 euros per liter. That is freaking cheap. You can't find that cheap fuel in Europe. It goes for around 1 to 1.2, 1.3 euros per liter. So freaking cheap fuel, man. And well, this car doesn't consume. This car kind of consumes more, but if you look at more modern cars, they consume like half a liter. They consume 5 liters per 100 kilometers, and that equals to 47 miles per gallon, which is like, yeah, best case. Mostly they will probably run higher in the city, maybe 7 liter per 100 kilometers. But let's assume best case, okay? That will be 1.25 baht per kilometer only for the fuel. We haven't looked at the oil change or other repairs, timing belt crap, all that other shit, with fossil cars. And if you look at electric, an EV, the cost for electricity is freaking high. So 5 baht per kilowatt hour equals to 13 euro cents. I don't remember how expensive it was in the rest of Europe, but it's pretty expensive, yeah. Especially compared to Norway, but Norway is unique. And if you assume that an EV consumes 150 watt per kilometer, we add some charging loss, so that's been 165. that would equal to only 0.825 baht per kilometer. So that is actually 50% cheaper than a gasoline car, right? So in a way, it makes sense to use EV, but I think, the fuel or the electricity for just running the car is only a small component of the whole total cost of ownership. You have devaluation, big one. You have like the service, repairs, and all that, toll roads, all that stuff. So the 50% here sounds like a lot, but in reality, it might just be 5% or maybe not even that, because the problem with EVs in Thailand is that they're freaking expensive. They get punished by massive import tax, so that's why nobody uses them. So I have another thought about scooters, because these scooters or motorcycles, they are everywhere, freaking everywhere, man. They use them a lot, probably because they are cheap, and also they are very easy to park. Like wifey, when she wants to go local here to some to 7-Eleven or to go to the market, she prefers the scooter, not the car, because it's much easier to find parking. Yeah. So it's not about saving money or whatever. It's more like convenience. But for many other people who are not that rich, yes, then it's all a matter of just getting around. So if you look at scooters, a fossil scooter, at least this is the info I've been given, they run on 95 octane leaded. But I did some Googling, and it seems like, you can run it unleaded. The manufacturer, they will, advise you to use leaded fuel, but from what I've seen, you can use unleaded, but as long as the octane number is high enough. But if you assume this one, which most people here do use for scooters, so that fuel is more expensive. That's 35 baht per liter, but still it's cheaper than fuel in Europe. I guess fuel in America is much cheaper, but yeah. Sorry about that. I'm dying. Take care, Optimus Prime, for me. Yeah. Okay, I'm just kidding. But okay, so a scooter, I found so many numbers, but if we assume that most people, they don't use the most updated one, so it's kind of semi-old, and according to this, they use 2.5 liter per 100 kilometer. Maybe some use as low as 2 or 1.5. But if you assume 2.5, yeah, that's 95 miles per gallon. And that one will equal to 0.9 baht per kilometer. And then if you look at electric, same, 5 baht per kilowatt hour, still kind of expensive. But, well, this is just a wild guess for me. 60 watt-hour per kilometer, including charging loss. I assume that those scooters, they are light, and they have a very small, efficient, permanent magnet motor. Yeah, so that's why they can average very low consumption. Even an Ioniq can average around 100 watt-hour per kilometer if you drive carefully, or maybe even lower than that. And the scooters, they don't drive that fast. They drive around the city here 50-60 kilometers per hour, mostly only lower than that. So that will equal to only 3 baht per kilometer, which means that scooters is 3 times cheaper to run. And I guess scooters, they don't have that many high running costs as cars. They don't have do they have timing belt, or they do some oil change, or I don't know. They probably they get away with free parking, or maybe they get away with free toll road, whatever. So that means that the total running cost all combined should be much better with a scooter versus a real car. But why don't they use them? Well, I don't know. It could be because most likely because electric scooters or motorcycles, they are more expensive to buy. And I guess also most people, they don't know too much about this. So, but I think scooters is where Thai people should start using, because these. Well, I'm in a car now, which is actually the Honda is pretty well insulated. We can try to open the door. You might hear more of the ambient noise outside, but my point was that the scooters are so freaking noisy and dirty. They have no filter. Yeah, well, it's quiet just now. But don't have any catalytic converters or any like all the just pretty much all this. Listen, well that was a quiet one, yeah. But if they modify them, oh man, they are so freaking noisy and dirty. Just see all that smoke coming behind them. But most people, I also try to ask Ameri's parents here, like driving habits with a scooter. They say that they don't drive that far. They drive like 5-10 kilometers per day. Maybe some of the more active people like go to school or whatever. They might drive like 30 kilometers per day. But most people don't drive that far. That means that the range of electric scooter would be way more enough. Like electric scooters, they usually have like what was it again? 40 to 70 kilometers of range. It sounds a lot, but they don't need that much juice to get around. And also, with those scooters, you probably have you don't need to have a super powerful charger on board or external charger or whatever. So that means you can most likely charge them on 5 amp, which equals to about 1.3 kilowatt. Or maybe 10 amp, that's 2.3 kilowatt. But I guess even about 1.5 kilowatt is enough. So that means that you don't need to invest in some like expensive charging station. You don't need to do any modification to your existing charging the electricity around home. You could just plug it in somewhere. Most likely, it would be fine because it's so low power. Having an EV charge at 16 amp or 32 amp will require a lot more. I have to have all that stuff in order. Yeah, just but this will most likely only works with people with houses. Like here we have we have an outlet here, so we can just plug it in. But if you live in an apartment, then that can be cumbersome. Like some apartments might have some place you can plug in, but then who's gonna pay for it? Usually it's a split cost there with the whole, so it's cumbersome. That means that yes, in some places it will work, some places it won't work for now. Yeah. And as I mentioned, electric scooters. I see second-hand scooters or whatever. The fossil versions. They can go as low as like 20,000 baht, and also if you go for like the more crappy ones, you can buy them for like 5,000 baht or lower. And also you see the really crappy ones that people drive around. They're like super cheap. So that's the problem, like who's gonna buy these electric scooters? Poor people won't be able to afford them. Poor people might not even have proper electricity at home or whatever. But at least some semi-wealthy. You don't have to be filthy rich, but people who can afford sending their kids to school or whatever, they can afford electric scooter. They just have to. The limitation for electric scooter is not infrastructure. They don't need charging infrastructure. The limitation is in here. They have to change. They have to know more about stuff. So you see, the problem in Thailand is that there are no incentives for EVs, at least not that I know of. So no incentives, and gasoline is fairly cheap, and electricity is expensive. It's fairly expensive, and also it comes from dirty coal. Yeah, and also, like I mentioned earlier, the economic gain, at least for EVs, are very small. So why the heck would you buy one? And it's very cumbersome to get one of these cars because you cannot fast charge them, especially not in here. Yeah. And also, even not fast charging, you cannot slow charge it like you can in Norway or many other countries. You can just slow charge where the mall or something, non-existing. And also, I heard that these EV fast charging stations around Bangkok, and also some of the solar farms, they are owned by the oil companies, so they pretty much control everything here. Unfortunately, it's like that. And also, if you look everywhere around Thailand, you see these big chunks of cables all over the place. So I don't know. To me, it seems like the electric grid might need an update if one day that we have like 1 million EVs around Thailand will start charging. They need to upgrade the grid or do something else smarter. And like I mentioned, Thai people, they don't know too much about EVs. In general, Thai people don't know much at all about EVs. So a year ago, I saw on national Thai TV, they were talking about Elon Musk and about Tesla. And they claim that, Tesla can explode for no reason. I'm like, what? Are you national TV? Like, do your research, do your homework. If they, the national TV spreads false information like that, it makes me mad. And like, people are like misled about EVs, and they think, oh, EV is dangerous, yeah, expensive, and you cannot charge, and you cannot drive far, and whatever. And there are lots of misconceptions about EV, and I want to change that, yeah. And last thing is that the government, they don't make the situation better. Because they don't educate people. There's no like campaign about educating people. They don't encourage people. There is no incentive. So it's like a bad spiral. Yeah. But I have hope. That's the thing. I have hope because the long range, low cost EVs are coming. Fortunately, because of development in other countries. So, for instance, Nissan Leaf, they will sell the Nissan Leaf in Thailand. That's what I heard. They claim. Hopefully, they will do it like they said. So that means that suddenly you have a fairly cheap EV, and hopefully it won't be heavily taxed. I'm not sure if they can manufacture it in Thailand, because the problem is import tax in Thailand. BMW is way more expensive than Toyota or Honda, because I think they manufacture it in the country, but if they have to import from other countries, it's freaking expensive. They can be hit by like 100% tax or something crazy. So if Nissan can manufacture the Leaf in Thailand, then it will be way more affordable. And you can probably do 250 kilometers. Most people who only drive locally, they can get away with that. And people who can afford that, they usually live in like a house or something, so they can charge in front of the house. Tesla in Thailand, I thought about that. Everyone, that's the question you guys will ask me. A Tesla in Thailand is cumbersome because there are no service centers and sales offices in Thailand. So that means that the only way to get a car here is to import it from Hong Kong or somewhere near. And then every time we have a problem, we could try to fix it here. I will actually interview some guy, a guy in Bangkok who has lots of Teslas. He's freaking crazy. And I think they also have a service, like they made their own service center. Yeah, but it's not official, Tesla service center. That's the problem. So, I mean, they can fix some problems, but eventually they have to ship it to Hong Kong to get it fixed and back again. So only rich people, filthy rich people, can afford to having a Tesla here. That's the problem. Unless Tesla will establish, I will come back to that. But how do we change this? So, for instance, restaurants and shopping malls, they can start offering charging stations, slow, maybe semi-slow. I'm not sure what they want to offer. At least 3.7 kilowatt, 7.4 would be even better, or 11 kilowatt. But yeah, not all the cars can support 400 volt. But Thailand has 400 volt. I've seen some red plugs and stuff around here. So yeah, that could work too. But it can't. I don't think it can be free because electricity is kind of cheap. But at least okay, they have to take the cost of installing the hardware and to install that stuff. But at least if they can just charge 5 baht per kilowatt hour, and some people will understand that is still a bargain if they have bought the car already. But these early adopters, they have to be patient. When it comes to like charging stuff, it's a little bit cumbersome in the start. They also have to kind of be a little bit wealthy or rich to be able to do all this. But the same situation was in Norway back in the days when nobody used EV, only like some weird people with these weird looking cars. Fortunately, we are past that stage now, so nobody in Thailand has to drive around in these weird looking cars. But there are some of these, of course. But hopefully, people can buy like normal size car like Nissan Leaf with better safety and better comfort and all that. And I will also make some video if I can contact the person there about electric tuk-tuk. So tuk-tuk is this, well, they call it like rickshaw, right? But in Thailand they call it tuk-tuk. which is like a three-wheeler, very common. It's like an icon in Thailand, you know. So they made this electric tuk-tuk, and there's at least one running in Chiang Mai. So hopefully I can get a video with him. So that means that they are slowly moving towards more sustainable future. So it's already available, and also if I have time, I will also try to visit this tuk-tuk factory outside of Bangkok. They make this. It's a Dutch guy, an engineer, genius. He moved to Thailand and he started manufacturing electric tuk-tuks, and actually he sells them to Europe. Yeah, but they thought about selling to Thailand also. So we just have to, you know, work it, get the Thai people to understand that this is the future. Yeah, you guys might also have to help me. Yeah, I cannot do this alone. You know, that's what I have to do. You know, like I mentioned, you have to slowly make some public charging stations and all that, and you know, educate people. But also, I believe that incentives are really important. What we see in Norway and other countries, that you need some incentives for people to. It's like a push-pull effect, you know. Incentives will pull you there, and then yeah, we will push them up towards the right direction. And there should be some public chargers maybe installed by the municipality. Whether they should be free or not, I'm not sure. But slow charging, you know, that will help a lot. Also free access to expressways will also help a lot. Then rich people who don't have time, they will gladly, you know, take the expressway for free, even though they don't care about money, but it's just about because it's free, you know, they want it. Yeah. Reduce import tax would also help. Tax on the car, if they can, you know, I don't know, reduce the tax or something, or remove VAT or something, just make it slightly cheaper so they can compete with the other cars in the beginning, you know. That will also help. And I think here also they pay some kind of annual fee for the car, road fee or whatever. So if they can reduce it or remove it, that would also help. And at least in cities where they have it, like Bangkok, if they can get access to bus lanes, yeah. I guess, you know, they have to consider all these incentives, whether, you know, people will use them a lot. But in the beginning, that would work, but eventually they have to remove, you know, some of them, or put restrictions, like we have in Norway, you know, about in bus lanes. And also, maybe they should consider subsidy for installing solar panels, as that will make it better. They can move away from, they have to be less dependent on coal. And you also don't put too much strain on the grid, because then you can use your own, like, power at home. It kind of makes much sense, because in the daytime you have lots of solar, lots of sol. Lots of sol. Sol is Norwegian, yeah. So you have lots of sun in day. And usually at daytime, you want to use your air conditioning to cool down the house, or you can do whatever. So yeah, that makes sense. But even a battery pack would also help. And of course, this is almost pointless for me to tell you guys what kind of advantages you have with electric transportation. We get cleaner air in the city. Yeah, you can see that in Bangkok it's pretty bad. And this is also after they transition, you know, these taxis. Before the taxis used diesel, but now they use LPG or CNG or some of these other guys. I don't know, this LPG, CNG or something. That is, of course, much better, or I don't know, better at least. But pure electric would make, you know, the air cleaner, and also way less noise. Yeah, that's always nice, and also people would save money, and wow, way more convenient. I've used EVs for a long time, and it's so much more convenient to use EVs in many ways. And we also need less dirty coal power, and eventually you can shut down some of these coal power plants when people move to. But you cannot just shut them down. You have to like, you know, get solar, or I don't know, wind. I'm not sure we have too much wind here, but solar is probably a good option. And also, yeah, I should also mention, you know, Tesla in Thailand, because that's probably a question that many people will ask. So yes, if I mean, it would be heaven if Tesla would establish in Thailand, because they're already established in, like, you know, China, Japan, Korea, South Korea. So all the other countries are there, and Thai people actually want Teslas. Rich people around Bangkok, they have lots of money, they want Teslas, but there's nothing they can do. So if Tesla could establish just one headquarter or something in Bangkok first, that would make the most sense, because there are several, like I mentioned, there are several CHAdeMO fast chargers around there. So that means that if you have a Tesla, at least like the 100 pack or whatever, you can get around Bangkok, and you can even go to Pattaya or something, you know, and if you have charging at a hotel, that will work. Yeah. And Hua Hin, yeah. So, you know, Pattaya and Hua Hin, they are close to Bangkok, and so that would work in the beginning, and then eventually they should put some. Maybe they should also put some superchargers, by the way, or even those what do you call it, the urban chargers, yeah, which is slower. Just put them somewhere in the mall or something, you know, so people can charge the car there. And eventually they should also build like 2-3 superchargers north towards Chiang Mai, and then maybe establish a service center in Chiang Mai or something, if if it works out, if people buy them. But at least try out in Bangkok first, see who many wants to buy them and whatever. But I guess before that they have to get pre-orders and stuff, so before we'll start running. Yeah, mostly rich people will buy them. Like Model 3 is still not out yet, but I bet, I'm pretty sure, rich people, they would love to have a Tesla Model S or X, yeah, to show off, because that would be different, especially Model X, yeah. But also, one day in the future, they should also consider, pickup in Thailand, because if you look around here, pickup in Thailand is so freaking common. That is like, it's almost more common than in US. Everyone and their mother has a pickup truck in Thailand, because I guess you can put stuff in the back there, and also some people live in in the bush or something, so they need to drive on bad roads. So pickup trucks, yeah. Well, this is a long video. Yeah, lots of stuff to talk about Thailand. It's a very interesting topic, I think. I don't know about you guys, but I find it very interesting. And after all, I'm born in Thailand. Yeah, I was not born in Norway. So I was born here, and then I moved to Norway when I was 4 years old. So in a way, I still feel attached to this country, and I want to at least do something to help change the country. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably very much this one person cannot do it alone, but if I could just push the country into the right direction, then I would be more than happy. So I'm going to talk about my future plans within 1 to 3 years in Thailand. I want to buy a house in Chiang Mai. Maybe there's a small one. Let's say like a 80 to 100 square meter house with parking lot and a small garden or something. Yeah. And later I want to buy a Nissan Leaf, or maybe a Hyundai Ioniq or Tesla. But Tesla, not yet, unless they establish something around here. But at least it has to be one of these long range vehicles. I cannot go for like a 24 kilowatt hour Leaf. That is not enough, unfortunately. And also later I want to buy at least one or maybe 2 electric scooters, because that will also make sense for local runs, to go to 7-Eleven or something, and also, while I'm doing all this, I want to do some more EV propaganda in Thailand. So I already have this Thai channel, and I can just vlog about this, like, oh yes, we are in Thailand, in Thai of course, and we bought a house, we have an EV, and we have electric scooters, and I can break down the economy, because once I start using all this stuff, then I know a lot more than just now, when I don't have anything and I have to assume everything. So I can show the Thai people that this is good shit. Yeah, this works, it's cheap, we save money, it's convenient, all that stuff. And I also, while I'm here, I want to interview people who have, like, I mentioned the electric tuk-tuk or something, and I want to help them promote this, and so Thai people know about this, about all these manufacturers or whatever. So and also later I want to install solar panel on the roof, and probably get some kind of like local storage batteries or something. If it's Tesla Powerwall, I'm not sure. It's kind of expensive, and unfortunately, I won a bunch of Powerwalls, but I already asked country manager in Norway if I can get one of these installed in Thailand. They said no, it's not possible. Yeah, so I mean, of course there's one way I can do it. Yeah, I can, but that would be freaking expensive because I have to ship one Powerwall, which is heavy, to ship it to Thailand myself, and then get my friend from Germany, Amadeus in Nürnberg. He is a certified Powerwall installer, but I'm not sure if he's allowed to install it in other regions than where he's certified to do it. So that would work, or I could go for X Storage, which is Nissan's local energy storage. And I kind of like that idea with Nissan because it's slightly cheaper, but you get way less capacity for the money. But they use second-hand, they use used Nissan batteries. So yeah, why not? You know, because in Norway, the X storage has like 4 kilowatt hours or something. What? Powerwall has 13.5 kilowatt hours. You know, in Norway, 4.5, 4 kilowatt hours is not going to cut it because we consume way more. But here in Thailand, it kind of makes sense because most of in the daytime you use power for cooling the car, cooling the house and stuff. And yeah, well, okay. Some houses that use gas for cooking, and they use gas for hot water. We probably want to use electricity, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we will do. But I have at least have lots of plans for Thailand. Yeah, so I'm not gonna give up my country yet. I mean, I have 2 countries, home countries, Norway and Thailand. So yeah, so I think that's it. A long ass video about Thailand. So let me know what you guys think about all this, and comments, corrections, all that. Yeah, that'll be awesome. So yes, I think that's it for now then. So thank you guys for watching.